Hey guys, I'm down here at Grantville, one of my favourite places to camp out, and this is my second day here. I spent last night here after I left Coronella. I rode from New Haven across the bridge, as you know in the last upload, and then I rode to Coronella. I left my quad there and picked up the camper van. And I took the camper van to me mate Trevor's in Cowes, who's going to give the van a bit of a makeover and sell it for me. And because, you know, I was just going to take it to a car yard and whatever they gave me for it and be done with it. But, you know, he said, well, you know, let me help you help me. And I'm like, well, yeah, no problem, man, absolutely. Trev's an old mate of mine. We go way back, and Trev was a ray of light in a sea of diarrhea at a time when I was very lost. Trev and his partner Kelly helped me through some really rough times, and I owe these guys and the kind of work that they were showcasing at that, and still are today. You know, I honour that. So when someone of that calibre says, "Oh, hey, I've got an offer for you. How about you bring your van to me and I'll sell it for you, and I'll do it up a little bit." And I mean, of course, man. Shit, damn right. So I left there. Took the van to him. We took it down to the car wash. We did a few things, washed and vacked, and then he took me back in his car back to the Coronella where my mate Greg lives, where I'd left the quad and the van. And I picked up the quad, and I had to leave. Greg wanted me to stay the night, and just chill out with him for the night. But something else came up. I can't talk about it here right now because it's about family. I'm not trying to be jaded here or whatever you want to call it, but it's just that private kind of stuff that is just no point even airing it on here because it involves another family member. So I sent a message to Greg saying, "Sorry mate, I know we'd made plans, but I had to jet because these kind of reasons, and I came here to Grantville, and I was here yesterday with the possibility that I may have to jump into action and go and help someone out, and that never happened. So I'm here. It's the next day, and I've been here all day just chilling out because when I went on this journey, the latest one, which is actually the maiden voyage, this is the one that's launching me off into the trip around Australia very shortly. Still debating whether I'll do Tasmania because I've talked to some people that have ridden around it since my conception of the idea. And they say that there are hills that are 8 kilometres long. Can you even dig it? 8 kilometres long. And my bafang keeps cutting out. So I mean, I go up a 500 metre hill and I cut out 3 times. You can imagine how frustrated I'm going to be after 8 kilometres with this thing cutting out all the time. So I'm thinking I need to either resolve the cutting out issue before I do Tassie, or just take off around up the east coast and do a lap. And then while I'm going, work out this issue, and hopefully some of you guys can chime in and give me a hand with that. And then do the Tassie once I come back to Victoria and do the Tassie thing, because you ain't done a lap of Australia, guys, unless you've done Tasmania. For obvious reasons, Tasmania's a part of Australia. I'm sick and tired of hearing people say, I did a lap of Australia, and they didn't even go to Tasmania. You ain't done shit, mate. You had a nice little trip. And stop pulling yourself off about you've done a lap of Australia. You've done a portion of Australia, 95% of Australia. You haven't done a lap of Australia at all. Okay? Just get that straight. Thank you. So, here I am, having a grand old time in the shade of not a coolabah tree. I have no idea what kind of tree it is, but I'm here. Anyway, something just happened. You know, one of those, this guy was quite nice, very humble. So to get to this spot where I am, this Grantville recreation oval, as I call it, has a little community hall or some kind of centre in the middle of it. And at the end of the car park to this community hall, there is bollard systems and like a driveway, gravel driveway, with a chain going across it to stop people going in there. Now, I heard from my friend Marie this morning, an old lady that I've made friends with around this area. She's very nice. She has a beautiful dog called Missy. Oh, hang on. No, that's Trev's dog. Bella. Oh, how did I forget that? That's my old Great Dane's dog's name. Bella means beautiful in Italian. And so we struck up a friendship. We had a coffee this morning. I made her a coffee and we're just talking for hours and hours. And she told me that on Sunday there is a big market here. It's at the last weekend of every month. And I thought, oh, okay, I'll get out of here by then. So anyway, I've come down here in the shade. All my batteries are charged and I'm just sitting here chilling out. And then I heard a car, pulling down very close to where I am in the rig. Thanks, Dave. It's rig, not quad. The quad's the prime mover, eh? Thanks, Davo. And when it's all connected, it's called a rig. If you're talking about the semi-trailer part or / living module, that's a different thing altogether than the quad. The quad's the prime mover. But when you're talking about it as a cohesive whole, you just call it the rig. I have to factor that in. Sometimes I remember, sometimes I don't. Thanks, Davo. So, the guy's coming down in his car. I hear a car. And he says in a very nice tone of voice, "Hey, g'day, mate. How you going?" I said, "Yeah, I'm all right, mate. How are you?" And I went over there and he says, I just want to let you know, mate, that this is such and such private land. And I'm like, all right, that's nice. He said, yeah, the chain's there for a reason, mate, is to keep people out. And I'm like, oh, I see. And I'm thinking to myself, geez, where's this going? He started off with a very nice tone of voice. I hope it doesn't go pear-shaped. This guy looked like he could handle himself a little bit, or I don't know. I'll say a little bit. I mean, I have no idea. He just looked like he could handle himself. So I'm thinking, geez, I wonder where this is going to go. Anyway, he's saying it's owned by some 3-letter word or something. I said, I've never heard of him. What's that? And he told me who it was, and some land thing or something. I've never heard of him. Anyway, he said that he'd been told to come down here and chop up one of the trees that's in the way of some of the market stalls that are coming down here on Sunday. He said, yeah, look, we've had a lot of problems down here with people camping out, and they're making a lot of trouble, a lot of mess and everything. And I said, look, mate, I appreciate you've come down here and you're very humble, and I really appreciate that. I said, my only retort to what you're saying is, and I'm not being a smart ass, is that I'm not a rat bag, mate. And he said, oh, thank you for that. And I said, no problem, mate. I make no mess. I don't make any noise, and that's basically it. And I said, look, I live in this full time, Occasionally I will use the word homeless, right? I'm not homeless or houseless, but it seems to endear itself into because everyone's socially conditioned, right, to think that, oh, he's homeless, so let's take pity on him. So I use that, right? I ride on the devil's back when I can, when it's appropriate, to clarify to people that I'm not some weekend commando just doing this, right? I have full respect and for any place, actually. I have total respect for it. My days of ratbagness, back when I was in my 20s and 30s, I don't know, on a scale of 1 to 10, they were probably a 7 or 8. Today, I'm 49. My level of ratbagness on a scale of 1 to 10 is about a 3 or a 4, mate. there might be a little bit of loud music till about 10 p.m. at night and me howling at the moon, and then that's about it. So anyway, I reassured this guy that I wasn't a rat bag, and I said, look, thanks mate. I said, look, I'm heading out here tomorrow, because he also reiterated that there's a big market here on Sunday. And I said, look mate, I'm leaving here tomorrow at about 5 a.m. And I said, look, what's your name? And he said, oh, my name's Cookie. And I leant in his ute to shake his hand, and he said, nah, you're all right mate, and he drove off. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, COVID thing, don't want to touch, that sort of thing, no worries. But at the same time, you know, he was down here in an authoritative guise, so to speak. So he probably doesn't want to shake my hand on that basis as well. But anyway, he gave me no attitude. He was very humble and very gentle. And he said, look, I just wanted to tell you. And I said, no worries, mate, thank you. I'll be gone tomorrow. So that being said, folks, would I have left if he had, you know, pleaded his case a little bit more for me to leave? I don't know. I don't know what to say to you on that score there, mate, because at times I can be very bombastic and curt and trying to prove a point, you know. I've gone over in my psychology many, many times what I would say to people that come up to me and ask me to move on, and I've done enough research to know who has authority to move me on and who doesn't. I'm not going to go into that here because I don't want to make enemies, but in the right or wrong situation, I may pull a legislation card out of my back pocket and argue a point, possibly because I have nowhere else to go in the short term. But to avoid conflict, I would probably move. That's just me, because he gave no attitude or anything else like that. He was very courteous and humble, and I really respect that. Had somebody else come up with the wrong mentality or with an attitude in the tonality of their voice, I probably would have made a cautionary tale out of them, or at least tried to, and made a bit of a twat out of myself in the process. So, hang on, we've lost visual there. Come on, around you come. There you go. So I've got this program on the phone where you put a square around your face and the phone follows you. See that? Bang, bang, bang. There it goes. So that's all happening. You know, good day, bad day, you know. Anyway, tomorrow I leave Grantville and I head up through the mountain pass, through the shunt off, back to the storage shed. I clean up the storage shed. I give the rig, hello Dave, give the rig a good cleaning inside and out. And I go through all of the compartments, all the containers in the storage shed. I pull everything out I don't need and I throw it out, and then I label everything. Very good reason why. Experience has told me that when I put something somewhere and I go, remember where that is? I never remember, because weeks later when you're looking for it, you don't remember where you put it. So I'm going to label everything that's in there. I'm going to put it on the front in a big white sticker with black texture or whatever, so I can see it and know exactly which container has whatever the bloody hell it is I need, and I can go straight to it without yelling and screaming and swearing and pissing and moaning. People? Alright guys, I'll talk to you tomorrow when I'm at the storage shed. Ciao for now. G'day guys, here I am again at the shunt off. So I spent 2 nights at Grantville, and was it 2 or 1? Don't remember. Anyway, I'm heading back to the storage shed, and I've just come up the hill of all hills, and probably took me an hour, and I think it's only 4 kilometres, maybe not even that. That's to give you an idea of just how bloody slow it is. But whenever I'm at this spot, I just have to, you know, take a bit of footage, mate, because it just is absolutely amazing. This spot is a real experience. That's French Island in the backdrop again. So I'm going to spin this around and have a chat to you about a few things that have just happened. Let's do that. Okay, so in previous uploads there's been some things that have happened to me. Most of it's positive, like 99.5% or whatever is really positive and really encouraging to keep going and doing this. I know it's dangerous what I'm doing, and I also know that it perplexes some people a lot. That being said, I'm going to tell you about a couple of things that have happened. One today, and I think the other one was 2 days ago. The one that happened 2 days ago, I was riding the quad back to Coronella to my mate's place to pick up the van and leave the quad there, pick up the van and take it to Cows, where Trev was going to give it a makeover and sell it for me. So while I was riding down this very long road to get into Coronella off the Bass Coast Highway, some tradesman in a white van, very perplexed, drove past me and, was on his horn in a very negative way, mate. And I'm just like, I do that. I'm like, what? Anyway, and then, he's obviously some poor creature that's, stuck in the matrix and within time constraints, and, another one of those people that thinks and feels that people like me just shouldn't be on the road. And I can't argue with that. I also believe that, but at the same time, there's a way to conduct yourself. If you want to get a point across, pull over and come and have a chat to me. I'd be happy to talk to you about it. I don't want to be there either, mate, Anyway, so now today another poor creature drove past me, very perplexed, when I was coming up this hill. This probably happened half an hour ago. And excuse me while I have a drag. I had to buy some chop smokes because my vape supply was running low, but I did find a place in Cows that sells the vape juice while I'm waiting for the other stuff to arrive by mail. So yeah, another perplexed person, but then 2 minutes later, a lady walks by. She's doing some exercise, and I struck up a conversation with her, lovely lady, and it all kind of balances out, you know what I mean? I have a very important phone call to make in a minute, and from my perspective, this is this person's last chance. I've yielded and been flexible and done all kinds of things to try and placate this person, and it just doesn't seem to be working. So you all know I want to head around Australia, but how that was going to happen and still maintain a relationship with my son Junai was going to look something like this. I was going to go away for a month, as in start going up the east coast for a month, and then wherever I end up at the end of a month, I was going to put the quad into storage for 1 month, pay for that, and then bus or train or wherever, fly, whatever, and get back to my son, and just, I don't know where I was going to stay, but I was going to be around for a month, and see him and be a dad for a month, and do daddy things, and then I was just going to, travel back to where part of me, the quad, was, and then go for another month and sort of hop, skip and jump like that around Australia. I know, it sounds like it's going to be frustrating and all the rest of it, and you probably will be, but this is why this phone call is so important. If this other person will not allow me to see my son on my terms, which are not, I'm not asking for a pint of blood here, guys. I just, personally for me, I do not see anything wrong with, on fortnightly visitation, my son comes and stays with me in the rig with the air tent room extension at a caravan park. I'm happy to yield to that, right? And unfortunately, this other person has put on the brakes. Now, that being said, people change their mind all the time, and that's fine. The issue is that there's a little child involved, and this person is laying down the law saying, well, you can come and stay here and see him, or you can stay at your parents and see him. And I'm like, yeah, but that's not on my terms, is it? That's you stating demands, and if I don't yield, you're going to deny me access to my son again. Which means, of course, lawyers, mediation, and parenting plans again, which, quite frankly, is a soul-sapping experience, mate, if you've ever done it. Having to get to that point in the first place because two people can't work their shit out is a really sad thing to be involved in, mate. And I really do not want to do it again. That being said, this next phone call is very important because if there's no flexibility from this other person whatsoever in terms of me staying in the caravan park with my son, there's a few options. The first option is that I just go around Australia and don't get lawyers involved and just go, and however long it takes me to do a lap of Australia full time. Obviously won't be seeing my son in that time because I haven't yielded to her demands, and she's not going to be flexible with me at all either. So what I thought would take 2 years with the hop, skip and jump system might only take 10 months if I'm, or 12 months. That might be a bit of romantic thinking there, but I honestly don't know. I've only ridden sections of Australia before. I've never ridden around the whole perimeter, but I know people that have, and I've just got to go back through my notes and see what times they did it in, and how often they stopped, what was their average speed, because my average speed's about 10 to 12 kilometres, guys. That's on a flat. And if I do it any faster than that, I look a bit spazzy on the pedals because of the gear ratio. So anyway, this next phone call is extremely important, and that will sort of show me the way that I can go. If this other person yields and has some flexibility, then I'll do the around Australia thing with the hop, skip and jump system, 1 month on, 1 month off, and see how we go. And then obviously I'll be back here in caravan parks, and my son will be staying with me. But yes, you're correct, I will not have the rig, but I have another, it's a Green Speed Magnum with a kids camping trailer. So basically what I do is for the month that I'm back, I would use the Green Speed Magnum with the kids trailer, and I would go to the caravan park and pick up my son, and we just hire a cabin or a van for 2 or 3 nights every fortnight, or then I'm back for the month. That I can budget for that. That's not a big deal, and I'm happy to do that. So that's where it is, guys. I'm going to do this phone call now and get into it. We'll see how we go. I'll get back to you. Hey guys, here I am back at the storage shed in Nyora after a pretty harrowing ride after I spoke to you at the lookout, the shunt-off lookout there. There was this gravel road on my left, and the sign said that it's a historic walk and a picnic area, and I thought, you know what, I've been riding past there for some time, and I've always wanted to go and check it out. And I just, for whatever reason, maybe I saw the gravel road and I thought, I'm not going down there. But today I did, and there was a very slight incline, decline, hill going down. And I thought, that's should be alright. Anyway, the further I got in, but the thing was, there's nowhere to turn back. So once you committed to this thing, I just had to keep going, and it got steeper and like going down on a steeper angle, and I'm like, oh god, this is going to be really difficult coming back. And it was, but it went down into like a little thing like this, and then it went up, mate, like up, and the gravel was so sloshy. The rig got bogged several times, and I was stuck. And there was people trying to get past and everything, and in the end, it almost, well, it did tip, but it just didn't tip all the way over because the riding section was in its way. It was really bizarre. There was this massive gutter, and I got it stuck in there trying to reverse my way down because there's just nowhere to do a 3-point turn, and the sides of the roads, on one side it just went down and the other side it went up, so there was just no way known that I could, do a 3-point turn by pushing the quad back, the rig back. Anyway, I managed to, it took about an hour, felt like an hour, it was probably half an hour, to find a place in the grass off the side of the road where I could roll it back in and then do a 3-point turn and come out, and that's how I got out. But I think, bloody hell, now I know why I didn't go down there in the first place. I'll never be going down there again. Bloody hell. Yeah, and another irate person on the horn again today. Yeah, it's just, I think I told you about that before. Yeah. Anyway, most people are really cool. So yeah, anyway, I'm back here at the storage shed. The phone call the other person didn't answer the phone, so I have to wait till later to see what's going to happen there. But I'm so tired today after that rigmarole down the gravel road that I'm going to wait till tomorrow to do all the cleaning of the rig, and then inside the storage shed. It's got to take at least a day to sort through all this stuff and label it, and so I know where everything is. And depending on how the phone call goes later on today will sort of dictate to whether I leave in the next few days up the east coast or I hang around for a bit longer. Anyway, either way, I'm going to be doing this trip around Australia, but at what capacity and exactly how, it remains to be seen. Stay tuned. I'll get back to you.